Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new year. 2025 isn't just another number on the calendar, it's your opportunity to take control of your life in a world that's noisier, faster, and more distracted than ever before. Everyone's talking. Social media, the news, your friends, strangers' opinions flying like bullets. But I want you to hear me clearly. The loudest voice you need to hear is your own. This year, it's time to focus on yourself. And stay silent, not silent in weakness, silent in power. Silent while you grow, while you build, while you transform, because real power doesn't announce itself. It arrives ready. You don't need to explain your dreams to people who won't understand them. Every time you open your mouth to seek validation, you hand over a piece of your power. You dilute the clarity of your vision by letting others project their fears, doubts, and limitations onto it. In a world addicted to noise, silence has become a strategy of the strong. Staying silent is not about weakness, it's about control. It's about refusing to give external voices more weight than your internal mission. We live in an era where everyone feels entitled to know your next move, your goals, your plans, your process. But the truth is, when you're building something great, your first priority should not be talking about it. Your job is to do the work. Speaking too soon about your plans invites distraction, judgment, and even sabotage. Sometimes, even well-meaning people can cloud your judgment with their own insecurities. And if you're not careful, you'll start adjusting your dreams to fit their comfort zones. Your dream is your responsibility, not a group discussion. When you verbalize your ambitions to the wrong audience, you risk triggering their skepticism. You may hear things like, "That's unrealistic," or "Why don't you do something safer?" These opinions don't reflect your potential, they reflect their limitations. Silence becomes strategic when you understand that not everyone deserves access to your vision in its vulnerable, developing state. This is especially critical in 2025, when everyone is broadcasting curated versions of their lives online. It's tempting to join the performance, to post every step, to tell the world what you're planning, but that's not power. That's insecurity in disguise. Power doesn't beg for applause. Power doesn't advertise every rep in the gym, every late-night study session, or every setback you overcome. Power shows up refined, focused, undeniable when the work is done. Silence also protects you from premature accountability. When you talk too much about your plans, your brain may interpret the conversation as progress, even though nothing tangible has changed. You trick yourself into thinking you're closer to your goal just because you talked about it. That's dangerous. Talking is easy. Action is expensive. And if you're spending all your energy sharing, you may have none left for building. Instead, let your actions do the speaking. Let your discipline, your consistency, and your results echo louder than your words ever could. Think of your journey like the construction of a skyscraper. You don't see much during the foundation phase. It's slow, it's hidden, it's quiet. But once the base is strong, the rest rises fast and visibly. Focus on the hidden work. Let people wonder what you're up to. Let your silence stir curiosity. Then let your success speak so loudly they can't ignore you. Here's a simple example. Imagine someone training for a marathon. One person announces it to everyone's social media, co-workers, family, and basks in the likes and early praise. But their motivation slowly fades. They feel the pressure, the eyes, the expectations. They start skipping runs, making excuses until race day comes and they're unprepared. Another person says nothing. They wake up at 5 a.m., run in the dark, track their progress quietly. No announcements, no applause, just sweat and silence. On race day, they show up strong. No one saw it coming, but they finish with power. That's the difference. So in 2025, be the quiet builder, the silent warrior. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to become everything you said you would be without saying a word. Your energy is your most valuable currency. It's not your money, not your time, and not even your skill. It's your energy that decides how far, how fast, and how fully you can go after what you want. Without energy, your time is useless. Without energy, your skills go to waste. And yet, most people are careless with their energy, pouring it into things that don't serve them. people who don't value them, and distractions that slowly bleed them dry. In 2025, protecting your energy and focusing it intentionally on yourself is not a suggestion, it's a survival skill. Every time you allow yourself to get caught in gossip, drama, mindless scrolling, or toxic conversations, you are spending energy on something that gives you nothing in return. That's like paying rent for a house you don't live in. You wake up drained, frustrated, confused about why you're not getting ahead, and the reason is simple. Your energy is being scattered in 100 directions, none of which lead to your goals. Focus is how you concentrate your energy. If energy is fuel, focus is the steering wheel. Without focus, energy goes nowhere. But when you align your energy with clear intention, you become unstoppable. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You don't need to be the most talented. You just need to guard your energy and channel it. And that starts with choosing where you place your attention. Most people wake up and immediately start reacting to texts, to emails, to the news, to other people's needs. They never take a moment to ask, where should my energy go today? They start the day on defense and stay there. If you want to win in 2025, you have to flip the switch from reactive to intentional. Start your day in silence, meditate, plan, move your body, read, think, decide what matters to you before the world tells you what matters to them. The people around you play a huge role in how your energy is spent. If you surround yourself with complainers, critics, and chaos, your energy will be constantly under attack. It's like trying to run a race with people grabbing your ankles. On the other hand, if you're around builders, dreamers, and disciplined people, your energy multiplies. Choose your circle like your future depends on it, because it does. A focused mind is a powerful mind. When you begin cutting out the noise, the meaningless conversations, the endless entertainment, the emotional vampires, you'll notice something. Your energy returns. Your mind sharpens, your body responds. You start seeing opportunities, making faster decisions, staying calm under pressure. That's the power of directed energy. And when you focus it on yourself, on your growth, your goals, your habits, everything changes. Here's a simple example. Imagine two students. One scrolls for hours every day, jumps from task to task, listens to drama from friends, and studies only when panic sets in. They're always tired, always behind. The other protects their energy. Phone goes off during study time. They work out, eat clean, and limit their circle to people who uplift and challenge them. They don't react to every distraction, they control their space. At the end of the semester, it's not about who's smarter, it's about who focused their energy. The second student wins every time. So in 2025, treat your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Spend it where it grows you. Defend it like treasure. And most importantly, invest it in yourself, because no one is going to do it for you. The world will gladly drain you if you let it. But when you take control of your energy and align it with purpose, you're no longer just surviving, you're dominating. Peace is not just a feeling, it is a personal asset. And in the fast, noisy world of 2025, it's also a rare luxury. Most people chase money, status, or attention, not realizing that without peace, none of those things feel good for long. When your inner world is chaotic, your outer accomplishments don't satisfy you, they only magnify the unrest. That's why protecting your peace isn't a passive act, it's an active, strategic decision. In fact, in a world full of distractions, pressure, and emotional triggers, protecting your peace is one of the most courageous things you can do. Peace doesn't mean isolation. It doesn't mean cutting off everyone or becoming emotionless. It means taking control of your environment, your responses, and your boundaries so that your inner state remains solid regardless of what's happening around you. It's about saying no when you mean no. It's about stepping back when you're overwhelmed. It's about creating space between stimulus and response so you don't keep letting outside forces dictate your mood, your choices, or your self-worth. This year, you must stop treating your peace like an afterthought. It's not something you get to enjoy after you've made money or hit your goals. It's the very foundation that will allow you to sustain success once you get there. If your mind is constantly under attack from negativity, pressure, or noise, you'll burn out or sabotage your progress. But if your mind is calm, focused, and clear, you'll navigate everything with strength, patience, and wisdom. Think about how often we give away our peace freely. You see something negative online, and your mood shifts. Someone sends you a disrespectful message, and you carry it all day. You enter a conversation just to prove a point, and it leaves you exhausted. These are examples of energy leaks, not because of the events themselves, but because of how much power you gave them. You can't control what the world throws at you, but you can absolutely control what you let in and how long it stays there. That's why you must build emotional filters, ways to check in with yourself and say, is this worth my peace? Most of the time, it's not. You won't even remember the comment, the argument, or the person next week, but you will remember how it distracted you from what really matters, and that's a cost you can't afford to keep paying. Your environment also plays a big role. What you watch, who you follow, who you talk to, all of it shapes your state of mind. If your environment is full of negativity, comparison, or conflict, you will become reactive. If your environment supports your growth, your goals, and your well-being, you become powerful. That's why protecting your peace sometimes means changing the room you're in, not just mentally, but literally. Here's a simple but powerful example. Imagine two people working on a creative project. One is constantly interrupted by texts, by drama from friends, by social media alerts, by the pressure to explain themselves. They can't find a rhythm. Their ideas feel flat. They feel drained, not because of the work, but because of the noise surrounding the work. The second person has built a peaceful routine. They wake up early, no phone for the first hour. They journal, plan their day, protect their time, and avoid toxic people. As a result, their creativity flows. They're not distracted, they're calm, clear, and effective. It's not because they have more talent, it's because they've created more peace. In 2025, choose your peace like it's gold, because it is. You can't hear your intuition when the volume of the world is turned all the way up. And you can't become your best self in an environment that constantly drains you. Protect your peace like you protect your future, because they're the same thing. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about freedom, the freedom to become who you were meant to be, regardless of how you feel in the moment. In a world driven by instant gratification, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing dopamine, the short-term highs that come from scrolling, snacking, skipping the hard stuff, and postponing growth for comfort. But here's the truth: dopamine feels good now. Discipline builds greatness forever. If 2025 is going to be your year, you must fall in love with discipline, not dopamine. Dopamine is everywhere: likes, notifications, binge watching, fast food, scrolling for hours. It's a cheap hit, and the more you feed it, the more it trains your brain to seek comfort over challenge. It tells you you deserve a break, when what you really need is structure. It whispers, just one more episode, when your dreams are begging for your time. It convinces you that rest is recovery, when in reality it's often just a delay. The result: weeks pass, months pass, and your goals remain untouched. Discipline is different. It doesn't beg for your attention, it demands your commitment. It's quiet, it's unglamorous. It's doing the boring stuff consistently. Waking up early, working out when you don't want to, studying when you're tired, saying no to things that feel good but get you nowhere. Discipline isn't about motivation, it's about doing what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. And that's the turning point. Stop chasing feelings. Your future doesn't care how you feel today. It cares what you do. The most successful people in the world don't always feel like showing up, they just do. Not because they're machines, but because they've trained themselves to prioritize the mission over the mood. That's what separates the achievers from the dreamers. Action taken through discomfort. In 2025, you have to stop outsourcing your power to how you feel in the moment. Your goals don't need more emotion, they need more execution. This means building systems and habits that support the person you're becoming, even on the days when your mind tries to negotiate an easier path. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. Without it, all the inspiration in the world leads nowhere. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Eventually, what once felt like a chore becomes your standard. You no longer have to force yourself to do the hard things, they become automatic. That's when your identity shifts. You stop saying, "I'm trying," and start saying, "This is just who I am now." That's real transformation. Not a temporary change, but a new foundation. Here's a simple example. Imagine two people with the same goal to get fit. The first starts off motivated, buys new gear, posts about it online, and feels great for a week. Then it rains one morning, or they feel sore, or something comes up and they skip a workout. Then the routine dies. They chase dopamine. The second person doesn't announce anything. They set a time to train daily, rain or shine. They wake up early. They don't ask themselves if they feel like it, they just go. 30 days later, the second person is stronger, more focused, and more committed. Why? Not because they had better circumstances, but because they had better discipline. So this year, stop looking for motivation. Stop waiting for the right time or the perfect mood. Fall in love with the process, with the reps, with the structure, with doing the work even when nobody's watching. Because when you fall in love with discipline, you unlock the life dopamine could never give you, a life built, not scrolled. A life earned, not imagined. That's the power of discipline in 2025. Let 2025 be the year you stop explaining yourself. Stop shrinking for people who can't handle your growth. Stop trying to convince anyone of your worth. Focus on yourself. Stay silent. Build in private. Win in public. Because the real ones, they don't talk about it. They become it. Let's get to work.